How can a person who does not like being thin still have fear of weight gain? That's the question I'm going to answer today, because that was me. I hated being thin. I looked awful and I knew it, and I felt awful, and I was definitely not enjoying being underweight. And yet I still got up every day and did my compulsive movement and restricted. If you asked me, do you want to gain weight? I always said yes. I always said yes, I hate being thin. And I was telling the truth then. Then how come every day I got up and acted like a person who was trying to lose weight? That was the question I couldn't answer either. It didn't make any sense to me. It frustrated the hell out of me, frustrated the hell out of everybody else, because I would say to people, I'm really trying to gain weight, and then go for a huge run and eat a salad. And people would be, they'd just say, you're full of shit. And I'd say, no, I'm not full of shit. I'd get really mad at them and get into a big argument. And that was my cycle for a really long time, like kind of an embarrassingly long time, I have to admit. I couldn't understand it, because I would attest, I'm not afraid of gaining weight. In fact, I want to gain weight. Now, what I've learned, because I'm writing a book on fear of weight gain now, and you see what happens is that fear is not always conscious. There's conscious and unconscious elements to fear. And I'm not going to go into that too much now, but like the whole sort of like consciousness thing is a big debate in philosophy and psychology, and the question of like, well, what does it take to, what does consciousness even actually mean? Do animals have that sort of consciousness, or is that just a human element? All that shit. I'm not going to go into all of that. Well, the only thing that we need to understand for this is that fear has conscious and unconscious elements. Like, that's pretty much established. Okay, so then that helped me understand that I did have fear of weight gain. Consciously, I wasn't afraid of weight gain, but unconsciously, I did have a fear of weight gain, because that is why I got up every day and acted as if I was afraid of weight gain. That's why I didn't even understand my own actions, because that's the unconscious part of fear that was causing me to do that. And so that's why it's important to understand implicit bias, which is basically sort of unconscious bias. And because implicit bias isn't just about the big stuff like racism, sexism, and things like that. It's about things also like the belief that thin is good and fat is bad, because that is that belief system that then leads to this unconscious bias towards fear of weight gain, unconscious bias towards thinness, and therefore developing fear of weight gain. And so somebody asked the question, that's why I'm answering it, like, if I'm underweight, you know, I don't fear weight gain, I don't feel that I fear weight gain, I don't want to be underweight, so how can you say that I have fear of weight gain? That's how, because we know that there are conscious and unconscious elements to fear. And I do outline that in more detail than I'm going to do in this video in my book. But I feel like for anybody who's in recovery, the active stuff that you need to take out of this, the bit that's actually useful, is looking at what you consciously believe and think you believe and want. Yeah, what you consciously want, because I wanted to not be thin anymore. I wanted to not have an eating disorder. And so look at that, and then look at your actions, and look at how your actions tell a different story. Because that's where the dissonance comes in. That's usually for most of us where it does not add up. And that bit in the middle, the bit in the middle between the difference between your actual actions and your intentions and your wants and what you consciously are aiming for, that gap, that is going to be that unconscious fear. And for some people, it's a conscious fear as well. For a lot of people, it's a conscious fear. A lot of people consciously know that they don't want to gain weight. But if you're like me and you don't have that conscious fear of weight gain, that gap represents that unconscious fear of weight gain. And so it all comes down to the same thing. Whether you're conscious of your fear of weight gain or not, if you're acting as if you are avoidant of weight gain, if you're acting as if you're afraid of weight gain, you still have to rewire fear of weight gain. And so you have to do all the same stuff as somebody who has consciously got a fear of weight gain has to do. Got it? Good. Go do it.